parties which have a significant minority vote bank. And also, since we are talking about it, DMK banks on Muslim votes, Congress in Telangana banks on Muslim votes, and other political parties. I mean, I can quote even TDP.
When it comes to Muslim women, they face double discrimination. There is patriarchy. You know, the Muslim society is very conservative when it comes to South Asia, when it comes to India. So therefore, there is a lot of discrimination within the community and, of course, at the politics at large.
Sonia Gandhi was the Congress president. Why didn't Muslim women get their due then?
Congress has remained, by the time it came to Sonia Gandhi era, remained largely status quoist when it comes to social issues. So they were not taking very strong stand.
Welcome to Booked. Let me give you a statistics and it will certainly shock you. Since independence, out of 690 women who were elected to the Lok Sabha, just 18 were from the Muslim community. And that is the reason why this book, Missing from the House, Muslim Women in the Lok Sabha, by renowned writer, thinker and journalist Rasheed Kidwai becomes important. What is the need for this research is my first question to Rasheed Kidwai as I welcome him. Rasheed, why research on Muslim women?
Thank you, Marya, and thank you for your kind words. Marya, it is very important in a democracy. Democracy is about numbers, it's about participation. And particularly when the whole world and our own democracy, there is a lot of emphasis on gender parity. When we talk about gender involvement of women, Muslim women form a very large chunk. Imagine a country of 140 crore people, out of which there is about 15–16% Muslim population. So about 7.5% are Muslim women. In terms of, we are talking about something like 20 crore persons who would surpass many of the countries, population. It will become a 6th, 7th, 8th largest actually country in the world. So in that context, we are talking about such big numbers that participation becomes very important. And when we talk so much about empowering women, then we see, and India is a country that is giving 33% reservation to women very soon, in the sense in next 5 to 10 years. Then a question comes: what kind of participation it's going to be?
Okay, so why not just stop at gender representation? Why bring in religion in gender?
So this is what actually compelled me to write this book, because when we talk about democracy, we actually think that Indian democracy is very successful, it is very vibrant, it is very participatory, and there is a lot of factors. Marya, you have covered a lot of elections. You see long queues, you see 80%, 90% people voting, particularly if you look at Bengal and Bihar and several other states. So when we have this kind of participatory model, then it has to cater to various segments of society, and that is where a lot of things come in. So you have, for instance, Sikh populations. Sikh population is much less, but the representation is much higher. Or
in the Lok Sabha.
In Lok Sabha, and it's only about Lok Sabha or in Vidhan Sabha. You look at the Christian community. It's in terms of numbers, again, their level of participation is much better than Jain community.
Okay.
So we recognize minorities. These are linguistic and religious minorities are there, and there are a lot of government schemes are there relating to them. I am not trying to. This book is not a attempt to find holes or blame a particular political party or ideology. It's about we look at ourselves. So it has a shock value.
It does have a shock value, Rasheed, because that made me go back to what happened in the 17th Lok Sabha, when women representation in all was perhaps the highest ever in the parliamentary democracy history of our country. Close to 78 women, and of which almost formed 14%.
Yeah, very, very good, yes.
Very, very good. And in that, what is the percentage of Muslim women?
very little, and it came essentially from Bengal,
yes.
from Mamata Banerjee. And here, Marya, it's a very interesting thing that we have Sonia Gandhi, who was the longest serving Congress president in the history of Congress, all that 139 years of Congress. Sonia Gandhi has been the longest serving, and of course a very prominent woman politician, a politician who was like, was very hands-on, who had full authority. And yet, if you look at the kind of representation, there was very little in terms of women in general and Muslim women in particular. You look at other women, you look at Bahujan Samaj Party, again, one-person controlled party, Mayawati, very little representation, though in this I have mentioned Kaisar Jahan, how she sort of, she was a, wife of a chaiwala actually, and they both went to see her. And she looks at her and she says, "Tu chunav ladegi, tu election ladegi," and she just gives her a seat, and Kaisar Jahan wins from Sitapur. And that is, again, I would say a very, so whenever politicians or political leadership wants, they can make it work. And you look at Jayalalitha, again, I mean, I would say zero representation when it came to, let's say,
women in
Muslim women, and even she was little wary of
women in general.
Women in general, and this is also as a subject matter of
sociology
and social anthropology, etc. So there are a lot of glaring things are there. But let me come to Mamata. Mamata Banerjee is one who is very sure-footed. She is given, so she gave it to Nusrat Jahan. You look at there, a lot of diversity. Just one point, Marya, I want to make. See, this out of these 18 women, 13 or 14 of them are Dynasty. So we are against Vanshwad, Dynasty, but when it comes to politics, and you covered, you see a lot of the 78 women that you were talking about who were there in 17th Lok Sabha, I think good 30% or 40% of them were Dynasty.
So that brings me to my next question. Do you think dynastic politics acts as both gateway and also gatekeeper for Muslim women? Many would say that does it empower or restrict true political democratization for them?
Now, I think in case of Muslim women and even women at large, generally all the Hindu women, Christian women, any woman, it helps. Because it's at the introduction level, it's far easy. You have covered politics, you have covered BJP, you have covered Congress, you have covered RJD. Not one woman from Bihar.
Yes.
And some ways politically, Bihar is very politically very well-aware state. It had a Muslim chief minister also. Abdul Ghafoor was a Muslim chief minister of Bihar.
But wasn't Shahabuddin's wife, Hina Shahab, at one stage a member of parliament?
No, I think she was there in the state assembly.
In the state assembly.
State assembly. So the point I'm saying is that it is very, it is dynasty becomes very important. First of all, what is the success of dynasty? Dynasty is one thing that's actually is also has a link with, I would say, the black money part of it. Because in our country, elections are very expensive. We have done a study in ORF and we have come to a conclusion that in 18th Lok Sabha, Marya, it would interest you that 1,32,000 crore rupees were spent. So per vote cost, in Telangana, in Tamil Nadu, and in Andhra Pradesh, it was about 7,000 to 8,000 rupees per vote. Imagine. And you look at, I'm sorry, I'm giving you a lot of today shocking
yes,
statistics.
Absolutely. Because Rasheed, there is this part which is author's note. You have said that the contribution of Muslim women MPs has not been documented well. There was an acute dearth of relevant information on their political work. Their stories had to be gathered from Assam to Kashmir, from Gujarat to Bengal. It was also surprising that none of the 5 southern states, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, otherwise known for better political representation than the north, with better literary levels and other socio-economic indicators, have not yet sent a single Muslim woman to the Lok Sabha. I think this is huge compared to what we keep talking about in the context of the southern states, that they ensure better representation, they ensure better gender balance, they are more safe and safety also of the women. But when it comes to actual representation, it's really a shocking figure.
So as Mr. Narendra Modi had said once, Marya, you remember that whether the glass is half full or half empty. So this is, of course, a very glaring thing. But I also, as a student of Indian politics, I'll tell you, see, there are a lot of things are there. There is a presence of IUML in Kerala. again a very progressive state, but a lot of the, so to say, the Muslimness as far as the UDF, there is alliance politics, LDF and UDF. So, you know, the UDF leans a lot on IUML in terms of Muslim representation, and that is where IUML is, I think, you know, they are very well, you know, soaked in patriarchy and a bit of a misogynic kind of outlook. Same I would say about the Majlis Ittihad al-Muslimin, that Owaisi's party. Owaisi himself has got elected, his father was elected, and you know, a lot of people get elected, but not women. So I think.
And why do you think? Particularly these parties which have a significant minority vote bank. And also, since we are talking about it, DMK banks on Muslim votes, Congress in Telangana banks on Muslim votes, and other political parties. I mean, I can quote even TDP.
Yes. So, Marya, you know, you have roots in society. That's why I'm saying, and I actually seek your response also. So, when it comes to Muslim women, they face double discrimination. There is patriarchy. There is, you know, Muslim society is very, let's keep religion aside, because I can say a lot of things in favor of religion, in the sense that in Islam there is nothing that prohibits from women from, you know, taking up a political role. It was there during Prophet's lifetime. It was there in the Islamic history. You had Razia Sultan. You had a lot of, you know, things, Benazir Bhutto, all kind of things in North Africa. You look at Kuwait, the number of, you know, Muslim women who are there. So, and now in UAE and several other places, even in Saudi Arabia. So there is, and not to talk of Algeria and Morocco, etc. The point I'm saying is there is lot of, so the, you know, the Muslim society is very conservative when it comes to South Asia, when it comes to India. And you have seen, that's why I'm trying to bring you in it. So therefore, there is a lot of discrimination within the community and of course at the, you know, politics at large.
So then, Rasheed, this deafening silence, many would say, within political parties and also of the Indian parliamentary democracy in general, puts women at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
But do you think they are also exploiting their invisibility? Because it serves their purpose. I mean, you give less representation to women. They are coming with the baggage of patriarchy. As you pointed out rightly, particularly among the Muslims here in our country and South Asia, they are following a form of Sharia which is even the most conservative form of Sharia.
Absolutely. So, a lot of these things that are passed on in that Indian, you know, Mohammedan law of 1935, 1935, there are a lot of things which are actually man-made laws. There are about 60-70%. That was, you know, Musa Raza used to tell me that 60-70% of theirs, which are there in the Mohammedan law, is actually man-made, in the sense that it is not, does not have a, you know, roots in Quran and Hadith. Point I'm saying is, on a more political turf, you see leaders that you were naming earlier, Chandrababu Naidu, MK Stalin, even Congress party, several of them, they actually have a very superficial way of looking at, you know, gender in, as I said, in general, and Muslim women in particular. So what they do is, they say, no, this is, there were 2 seats or 3 seats or 5 seats that were to be given to IUML, we have given it to them. There is, we have a pact with MIM, so this is the DMK says it is, you know, the Congress, which is a sort of custodian of, you know, Muslim votes. So there is a lot of, you know, political cocoa that goes on. RJD, all of them do this. Yes. But they are actually, so they will be happy that somebody contests from Kishanganj and somebody, you know, from Muslim dominated pockets of Bihar, and they will be happy. So they will never seriously, I'm talking about Lalu Yadav and several others, they will never ever encourage, you know, women to come. If woman comes up, like in case this has come up, the one of the thing you, obviously you know her, that
Iqra Jahan.
Iqra Jahan, she's a, you know, she's a 3rd generation politician from the Dynasty family. So they are very happy. So Iqra becomes a, you know, a kind of a mascot or so, or a kind of you know, Samajwadi Party's star performer or a star campaigner in many parts of the country. So Iqra is, and she's barely 25. She's one of the youngest MPs. So that means given a mauka mile, to aa jate hain. But I am saying it will take a lot of time, and that is where the line between the secular parties and not so secular parties also gets blurred.
Then, if you look at it, I mean, Mehbooba Mufti again, a dynast. You have had Mohsina Kidwai.
Yeah, her father-in-law was a politician. He was there. Yes. Though she, to her credit, I must say, she won thrice, and she won from Meerut which is a very difficult, constituency, as you have covered Uttar Pradesh's political trajectory. You see, one thing which is very redeeming, and that is why, Marya, I am saying that more Muslim women need to come out, not because of in a liberal sense of word or participatory democracy. Not one Muslim woman has faced any, ED, CBI, corruption charges.
Yes, I was coming to that. Do you think, this clean record and moral integrity that Muslim women in general have maintained in their parliamentary record, is this more of a survival tactic? Because you realize that there are more lenses on you, you're being watched more.
No, I think, Marya, it comes naturally to them. So women are less corrupt, and I think there is no fear. It is that sort of inbuilt, that value system that is there. You look at, like Abda Ahmad, she was a, wife of former President Fakhruddin Ali Ahmad, and they did a lot of remarkable things. First election, Marya, there was nobody in 1951-52. In 1957, two Muslim women contested, non-dynast, that Maimuna Sultan. She's a sister of this very famous television personality, Salma Sultan.
Yes.
She contests from Bhopal and she wins. Yes. And Mufida Ahmad, she wins from Assam. And non-dynast, and they do well. And in 1962, Marya, hold your breath, you see a lady wins from Banaskantha in Gujarat, a tribal dominated seat.
Wow.
Okay, and she was a Gandhian, a very simplistic way. So people of Gujarat in 1962, tribal dominated seat,
had
voted for
Muslim
a
woman.
Muslim woman. And I'll cut to 1989. Ahmed Patel used to tell me that, you see, Ahmed Patel was a very successful politician. He won 1977 election on a Congress ticket when there was a total, sort of wave against Indira Gandhi. So Ahmed Bhai locally was called as Babu Bhai. So as long as it was Babu Bhai, he was winning. What the Vishwa Hindu Parishad did in 1989 election, mind you, that time all this Ayodhya and Ram Janmabhoomi movement was had become very active. They, they removed his name on all those, walls and streets, and they changed it. So wherever it was written Babu Bhai, they changed it to Ahmed Patel. And Ahmed Patel used to say he lost election
because his name.
Now what a telling commentary. So what I'm saying is, Gujarat was, politically speaking, far more liberal in 1962 in electing this Zoraben Chawda from Banaskantha, a tribal dominated seat. But by the time 89 came and afterwards, forget about Muslim women, even for a Muslim man, it became quite, difficult and challenging to win.
So are political parties, fielding Muslim women or ensuring that they reached the Lok Sabha? Example was Nusrat Jahan in the 17th Lok Sabha.
Yeah.
But they do not perform. There are these cases, Nusrat Jahan, for example, she was largely missing in action, not really a member of parliament who was seen to be participative, even on the ground also, Rasheed. Do you think that this becomes mere tokenism then?
Well, I don't think so. First of all, I have a slight disagreement with that, Marya. And I think Nusrat also has very deep roots in society. She's a very successful, again, in terms of linguistic or the kind of cultural profile we have, she is an outlier. She is a, a non-Bengali to come up and become a number one, number two, film actress in Bengal cinema, highly competitive, and something that is where the standards are very high, and she comes up in a very big way. Now, how do you expect to sacrifice a very successful professional career to be a backbencher in Delhi?
But then that's a choice that should not have been made in the first place.
So
Rasheed.
I think it was Mamta's way. Like as given this time, you have Yusuf Pathan, and she brings a lot of variety. Earlier Shatabdi Roy, there's a lot of Muslim.
But that's also a reflection, Rasheed, that Mamta Banerjee feels confident that these, she can field anybody from any, parliamentary constituency. It is about her. They are winning on TMC ticket because of Mamata Banerjee. She is the mass leader. They are not really mass leaders.
So again, Marya, I'll come to the same thing, that in praise of Mamta, that if people, if an artist, a sports person, a film actress is given a chance, they come and they fighting election and winning election is not easy.
Absolutely.
And therefore, you know, she, in case of Nusrat Jahan, again, a lot of campaign was there, a very negative campaign, a very dirty campaign, not only by the BJP, but the Congress, left, everyone, and she comes and she wins. So I think we must respect her on that count. Now, what happened that she had a role to be, you know, in the opposition benches, and she asked some of the very good questions. And Marya, I'll just take a minute of yours to say that, see, the Muslim women MPs from 1957 onwards, they have asked very searching questions. What's happening in, you know, Congo, what's happening in elsewhere, what's happening in National Herald. I mean, imagine a Congress MP asking about, you know, the functioning of National Herald newspaper. So when I looked at the questions, they were very cosmopolitan. They had a lot of internationalism. They were very much concerned about what was happening elsewhere. Today's this thing of Nusrat and others, it's far less than what it was in 1957, 1962.
And Rasheed, let's look at various political parties and those political parties which have women at the helm, starting with the Congress party. Why do you think the Congress party did not ensure, and when Mrs. Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi was the Congress president, why didn't Muslim women get their due then?
Yeah, so I think why, I think a Congress spokesperson can answer. But from my academic understanding, I think the Congress has remained, by the time it came to Sonia Gandhi era, remained largely status quoist when it comes to social issues. So they were not taking very strong stand. And I think you look at Shabanu case, and a very famous case, I don't have to go in that great background of it. Marya, what happened in Shabanu case, that Rajiv Gandhi, on record, and it's there in a lot of books also, he consulted people like M.J. Akbar, Arif Muhammad Khan, Ziaur Rahman Ansari, talking about women and women's destiny. Okay, but who were the people? There were only men who were consulted. Wajat Habibullah, I can go on and number of names, but like leaders like Mohsina Kidwai, leaders like Najma Hepatullah, and there were many other women were there. Margaret Talwa, she's not a Muslim, but she also had a lot of interest. See, they were not consulted. So the stakeholders were not consulted. And this is a very telling commentary on all political parties, except for, I would say, TMC, that where, you know, stakeholders are not involved. Look at Mr. Narendra Modi. See, he is, and his party, I'm not picking on him, but he keeps talking about, you know, the kind of reform they brought in terms of reducing instances of instant triple talaq, and there are a lot of reforms that he's talking about relating to Muslim women. But there is no political relationship in terms of, you know, giving tickets in the state assembly elections, in I would say even at municipal level, civic polls.
So Jayalalitha and Mayawati.
Jayalalitha also, she was very status quo, and I don't think she ever saw herself as a, you know, protagonist of women's rights, etc. She was there to prove a point, and she did it, and successfully. In jail, chief minister, in jail, coming chief minister. I think she's a very inspirational story, and she was very successful. But she never
empowered others.
Yeah, and she never saw herself as a champion of, you know,
women's rights,
women empowerment. Actually, she used to have. I'll just give one very quick example. She was very comfortable and happy with Rajiv Gandhi was the prime minister, and Rajiv Gandhi will drive to Poets Garden. And when it came to Sonia Gandhi, there should have been a greater female bonding. No, but they had a problem because she would not go to 10th Janpath and Sonia Gandhi would not go to Tamil Nadu House. So when Subramanian Swamy had his famous tea party, what was it? At Ashoka Hotel, third venue.
That's right. So what about Mayawati?
Very imperious, and she never saw actually women as a vote bank, and that is where I think one has to give some credit to Narendra Modi, that he saw through a lot of you know what you call it, Labhartis, yes, schemes and all, that the BJP has captured, I would say, a large section of women voters, and some of them are Muslims also. But it has to, you know, transform into a political relationship of empowerment. That has not happened. But so, Mayawati was very, again, blinded to the idea of, you know, sort of another vote bank on gender lines.
Okay. So if we are looking at women as you know, potentially landing in the Lok Sabha, what will it actually take women to, Muslim women to reach Lok Sabha? Electoral calculation and more leaders perhaps who will be ready to bet on them, or do you see religion playing a role and patriarchy actually stopping them at the doorsteps of their homes.
Yeah, so I think, Marya, as you know, that patriarchy is on the decline. Muslim women, and you are a very shining example of that. You come from a rather, I would say, a socially conservative background, and you have done very well. I've tracked your performance as journalist for past 2 decades at least. So what I'm saying is that there are a lot of Muslim women are doing very well as doctors, engineers, media persons, and all walks of life. There is a Aligarh Muslim University has a woman vice chancellor. All kind of things are there. In politics, because there is a male domination and political parties and leadership, they don't want to go deep and act as sort of reformers in a true sense that they should be. Had it been Mahatma Gandhi been alive today, they would have done it. But today's leadership, and it applies to all of them, from Narendra Modi to Samajwadi Party leader Akhilesh Yadav to Tejasvi Yadav, they don't want to make much investment. But my plea through this book is, please do make investment, because you will bring better leaders, better lawmakers, better human beings, and the society will benefit.
Rasheed, since you have chronicled lives of 18 women, just 18, imagine. I mean, I thought that after 17th Lok Sabha, we would be seeing a completely different, but you've actually made me read this book because you have talked about a number which is extremely difficult to believe, and that's why it's a very original and a unique work here, Rasheed. Among all these 18 women, which is one story which is close to your heart? You cannot get away by saying all 18. One story which you actually feel is truly remarkable.
I think I'm tempted to say all of them, but each of them I would say. You see, but look at Sheikh Abdullah's wife, yes, Begum Akbar Jahan. She was so to say a Swiss national, and she got married to this, and Parda Nasheen. She used to, and because what happened in 1953 and all this, a matter of history, and then and she was saddled with the responsibility of leading a national conference from the front. And what did she do? She, removed her parda, came out in public life, and led, national conference. What national conference is still today. They have her grandson is the chief minister of Jammu Kashmir as we talk. So this is something that, there's a lot of resilience. I have also given an example, Marya, and of course, this whole thing very well. When the Constituent Assembly was constituted, out of the 119 persons, there was just one Muslim woman, Begum Ejaz Rasool. And I have written about her that, yes, she was, since she has written, she was made it to Rajya Sabha, not to Lok Sabha, from, Parda to Parliament. So Parda to Parliament is a very inspirational thing. Parda is not something, it is, it blocks person. Even Marya Kidwai, all of them, they came from, socially conservative background, and they did very well.
And Rasheed, before I sum it up, one thing which stood out also for me was that all the praise of the book has come from women journalists. From Sheila Bhatt to Sunetra to Nistula to Rama Lakshmi to Radhika to Nagma to Priya Sehgal. So this is phenomenal. I mean, congratulations for this book.
I think look at the kind of their large-heartedness, because it's written by men, but all of them, because they thought that the idea was good and a modest effort, but still it's worse. So they all have endorsed it. That is what I'm saying. Women, when it comes to multitasking, when it's looking at society, when it's giving it back, they are much better human beings. I'm a beneficiary, so I'm saying it.
All right, Rasheed. Thank you for this conversation, and to all those who are watching this edition of Booked, catch a copy of this book. I have read it, and it's certainly worth a read because it actually raises a lot of questions, and of course about the gender representation, but religious gender representation, which has to be discussed. Thanks so much for watching, and thank you, Rasheed, for your time.
Thanks.